Greetings, everyone. Okay, guys, on the cusp of DOA going into hiding for a short time, since he did discover this tunnel and a lot of us were watching all this going on, I thought what better time than to read some of the documents from the FBI regarding Scientology and human trafficking. Fat Granny shared the link, and I'd seen these before, and I don't know, it was kind of dry, and they are redacted a lot, and this might be kind of boring. If it gets a little boring, I will skip on to another section, but hey, it's just documentation that the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, already knew what was going on, and let's see what they have to say. I just have to oops, hold on. My mic on my laptop's not the greatest. That's why I'm using my cell phone. I'm going to be getting a new laptop and mic soon, and then I'll probably start using it more. So, trying to get the whole view here. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, precedents. And the header says Federal Bureau of Investigation. I'm assuming that means they really do investigate. One can hope. Hold on, I gotta get some water, guys. Precedents, routine. Date, 10/05/2009. 2, criminal investigative. So apparently went to that department, which guess it means crimes. Attention, Civil Rights Unit. From Los Angeles, contact, they covered that. Approved by, covered. Drafted by, covered. Case ID number 50-LA-254214-1. Church of Scientology, blank subjects, civil rights, human trafficking. So it's almost like this actually has been brought to attention numerous times. Sensitive investigative matter. Synopsis. Initial submission to open a sensitive investigation matter. Full investigation initiated 10/05/2009. Pursuant to the Domestic Investigations and Operations Guide, Section 10.2 Delta, this human trafficking investigation is a sensitive investigative matter pertaining to a religious organization. The reporting agent received information that the elite branch of the Church of Scientology, known as the Sea Organization, Sea Org, houses and employs thousands of Scientology members, including children, and adults, utilizing force, fraud, and coercion. Based on interviews of former Sea Org members, hereinafter complainants, the Church of Scientology, COS, tricks young Scientologists, otherwise known as children, into joining Sea Org, promising good salaries, regular work hours, vacation, and family visits. Sounds like an employer, doesn't it? However, once Sea Org members begin their service, they are housed and held at secure locations where they work 15-hour days in various positions for Scientology-based companies. Sea Org members are given no days off, and are permitted only limited and monitor contact with anyone outside of the camps where they live and work. All incoming and outgoing mail is opened, read, and electronically scanned before it is distributed. All Sea Org members' passports are held. All Sea Org members' passports are held. In the security office, approximately 30 to 50% of Sea Org members are foreign. Approximately 30 to 50% of Sea Org members are foreign. It is considered criminal activity to say anything negative regarding Sea Org. And if a member expresses a desire to leave, they are put through a grueling and lengthy process that typically results in the member staying. Boy, they really iced over that one, didn't they? All Sea Org members are instructed how to lie to outsiders and authorities who might inquire of their living and working conditions. Sea Org members who try to escape or who are disobedient are sent to underground labor camps that resemble concentration camps where they live and work in slave-like conditions around the clock, building furniture and other material goods. Background on the Church of Scientology. As a result of complainants' allegations, agents conducted significant research on publicly available databases regarding the Church of Scientology and the Sea Organization. There are between 8 and 10 million members of the Church of Scientology, COS, around the world. That's propaganda. Most are laypersons, parishioners who follow the teachings of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. I want to see where the investigation starts. Scientology teaches that people are immortal spiritual beings who have forgotten their true nature. Scientology uses a method of counseling called auditing. That's interrogation. It's not counseling. To spiritually rehabilitate church members, the auditing process involves using an electropsychometer or e-meter, akin to a polygraph machine. To assess an individual's spiritual state, the e-meter supposedly shows a charge. If an individual is not in a clear state, the goal is to be in a clear state, e.g., where the mind's negative images are gone and the person is rid of all fears, anxieties, and irrational thoughts. Guess that doesn't work. Scientology is legally recognized as a tax-exempt religion in the United States and some other countries, and the Church of Scientology emphasizes this as proof that it is a bona fide religion. I believe L. Ron Hubbard said starting a religion was the best business or something like that. Go check it out. Scientology utilizes an internal justice system referred to as the ethics system to deal with unethical or inappropriate behavior. Yeah, because they're so appropriate, aren't they? One significant piece of the justice system is the Rehabilitation Project Force. When a Sea Org member is accused of misconduct, such as lying, sexual misconduct, dereliction of duty, or failure to comply with COS policy, a committee of evidence examines the case. If the charge is substantiated, the individual may be sent to an RPF. Recently, former Sea Org members have spoken publicly regarding the RPFs and have compared them to concentration camps. I wonder if they talked about the child RPFs. Inquiring motherfucking minds want to know. This investigation will focus on the 2 California Sea Org locations. One location is in the Riverside County, California. That location is referred to as International Base, INT Base. That's the one with all the Constantine wire over it, yeah. The second location is in Hollywood. And consists of multiple buildings where Sea Org members are housed and work. All Sea Org locations are contained and secure. Sea Org members do not come and go freely. If a Sea Org member wants to leave Sea Org, they have 2 choices. Either blow out, meaning to escape without permission, or route out, which is a lengthy process involving isolation, auditing, security checks, and typically is unsuccessful for staff members. Only in more recent years, blank has Sea Org been transformed into an organization operating under threats and physical force. Since early 2000, COS has suffered embarrassing media setbacks, which have caused blank, probably black PR. Sea Org members are being punished as a whole for the recent perceived failures of Scientology and its various businesses. Punishments include severe limitations of civil liberties, including physical abuse, which has become mainstream within the Sea Org to punish and humiliate employees. I would really like for this to mention all the child SA, the neglect of the children, the physical abuse, the mind control of the children, but of course there's nothing there. In the past, Sea Org defectors have been unwilling to speak publicly regarding the abuse at the hands of Scientology due to threats of financial retaliation and family detachment. However, blank members of Sea Org who escaped in the last few years, and then they blanked out a whole bunch of stuff, within Sea Org and worked closely, with blank. Based on media accounts, blank not only were the recipients of severe physical abuse by, you guys know, probably Miscavige, but they also were responsible for delivering blows to others. This is known as ecclesiastical justice, that is imposed if Sea Org members are performing poorly. Since blank have begun speaking publicly, other defectors are coming forward and exposing Sea Org's labor camps. You guys know that defectors is the same word they use for people like escaping North Korea, China. It's the same word they use. Key terminology. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that. Hold on, guys. Let me just scroll a minute here. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Int Base, aka Gold Base. This is a 500-acre property in Riverside County, surrounded by razor wire fencing. Yeah, Constantine, with sharp inward-pointing spikes to prevent escape. The gates are guarded at all times. Security guards patrol the grounds. Motion sensors and surveillance cameras are placed throughout the property. Map attached. The address is 16925 Gilman Hot Springs Road, Hemet, California 92583. Have you guys seen the Hemet police, how they act out there? Almost worse than LAPD if it's possible. Until recently, the location of Int Base was not publicly known. Staffers who live on the Int Base work a variety of jobs. RTC is operated of the Int Base, and Golden Era Productions is also located there. Golden Era Productions is COS's media and publications division. Approximately 900 individuals live on Int Base. You guys see how they don't say anything about the children? As if, okay, individuals, you mean like children? I'll do that. All staffers wear the same uniform and work from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. To include children, guys, by the way. I mean, even though they didn't type it, the children are doing it as well. On a typical day, but also regularly pull all-nighters for days on end. Told you guys it's going to be dry, but this part's interesting to me. Pacific Base, Pac Base. You know, all that fake Navy stuff. The broad term for the Los Angeles base is Scientology. The COS owns many buildings in the Hollywood area. Some buildings are called birthing buildings where Sea Org members live. There are allegedly 12 birthing buildings in the Los Angeles area. One is located at 5165 Fountain Avenue, 5165 Fountain Avenue, Los Angeles. Additionally, there are several corporate buildings. The main building is a large blue building located at 4833 Fountain Avenue, East Los Angeles. In the basement of the main building is said to be a RPF for wayward Sea Org members. Sea Org members who live in Los Angeles are bused to work every day to CSI corporate offices located at 4751 Fountain Avenue in Los Angeles, where Bridge Publications Incorporated is located. BPI publishes only LRH books and is staffed entirely by Sea Org members. Sea Org members also are bused to the building located at 7051 Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, California. Hollywood, California. This is where the COS has a for-profit literacy agency called Author Services Incorporated, ASI, which represents only one author, LRH. It is also staffed entirely by Sea Org members. Middle management Sea Org members work at the building located at 6331 Hollywood Boulevard, known as the Flag Liaison Office, for the Church of Scientology International. Okay, give me a second here. The allegations made by complainants blank. Yeah, what's the point of even hiding it at this point? If true, invoke federal human trafficking laws. The primary status at issue are under Title 18, Chapter 77. Title 18, Chapter 77, peonage, slavery, and trafficking in persons. Take a note of that, guys. Oh, they got all the codes in here if you guys want them. I mean, it's been a few years. Not like they apply the law or anything. 18 U.S.C. 1589A, forced labor. Forced labor. Whoever knowingly provides or obtains the labor of services of a person by any one of or by combination of the following means. 1. By means of force, threats, or force. Physical restraint, or threats of physical restraint to the person or other person, or. Like when all the handlers grab people when they're trying to walk and take a walk outside the Blue Building? Yeah. Number 2, by means of serious harm or threats of serious harm to that person or another person. Note, serious harm means any harm, including psychological, financial, or reputational harm that would compel a reasonable person with the victim's background and in the victim's circumstance to perform labor, services, or commercial sex acts to avoid the harm. Kind of reminds me of these dirty cops that just got caught doing that kind of stuff. Number 3, by means of the abuse or threatened abuse of law or legal process, or, note, abuse or threatened abuse of the legal process is defined as a use or threatened use of the law or legal process in a manner for which it was not designed to cause a person to take or refrain from taking some action. Like freeloader's debt? It can include threats of deportation, or I'm thinking to myself when they take the passports. It can include threats of deportation. Well, that's probably why they have all the foreign people, right? Arrest, detention, and institutionalization. The 5150, just like the LAPD wants to keep bringing up, huh? 4, by means of any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause the person to believe that if the person did not perform such labor or services, that person or another person would suffer serious harm or physical restraint. Scheme, plan, or pattern includes. Sounds like Scientology. Manipulation of debts? Check. Verbal abuse and intimidation? Check. Demeaning and demoralizing conduct? Check. Psychological manipulation and control? Check. Confiscation of identification documents? Check. Inhumane living and working conditions? Or check. Or monitoring and surveillance? Check. Yeah, they checked all the boxes. All those cameras outside of the Scientology buildings and the recruiting centers. They checked all the boxes for the trafficking. What's going on? Okay, I got to turn the page here. Hold on. I don't want to mess everything up. Okay, here's the trafficking code. 18 U.S.C. 1590. Trafficking with respect to peonage, slavery, involuntary servitude, or forced labor. I just want to interject real quick. I think that that's why the Headleys lawsuit against Scientology for the forced labor and involuntary servitude, they did not win. And the reason they did not win, because that would have set a precedent. And the minute that precedent gets set, it's freaking over. Whoever knowingly recruits, like, oh, the little kids thing they had out at the Blue Building the other day, that looked like recruiting to me. Oh. Harbors, all those people locked up in the Blue Building that can't leave. Transports, oh, like the little white vans with the duckies in them all the time. Check. Provides or obtains by any means any person for labor or services in violation of Chapter 77. This human trafficking investigation, whatever that is, will focus on the forced labor of Sea Org members. They very strategically don't mention the children. You guys know why that is, right? International base in Hemet, California, and at PAC base in Hollywood, California. This investigation is not an attempt to discredit the religious beliefs. Oh, here we go. You mean the business? Held by Scientologists, but is solely focused on the forced labor of its elite Sea Org members. It shouldn't have been just labor for the Sea Org. It should have been everyone. What year did Rinder get out? Under the forced labor statute, 18 U.S.C. 1589, Alpha 1-4, each of the four enumerated means were used by blank and others within the CSI to maintain the labor and service of Sea Org members. What about the child RPF? Or the ranch? Or the children that are forced to do services till 10 o'clock at night and not allowed to play? Sea Org members are recruited believing that they are joining the most elite organization, mind control, within the Church of Scientology. However, one person's signed their billion-year contract. They are subjected to an unexpected lifestyle that they would never have agreed to, and that is nearly impossible to reject. Utilizing the key language of the forced labor statute, utilized a scheme, plan, or pattern that caused Sea Org members to believe that if they did not continue working for Sea Org, they would suffer serious harm. I personally will add in all the staff members. What's the other one? You got the staff members, public. They're all being labor trafficked, all of them. Blank scheme consisted of the following. I don't know why that's blanked out. 1. Compensating workers less than $50 a week, which they still do, as a means of ensuring that no member could build sufficient financial means, to include children, to support themselves on the outside. Sometimes workers were not paid for months or even years. Isn't this also like a INS issue? Immigration? Anybody? Number 2, limiting Sea Org workers' ability to freely communicate with each others and with friends and family by monitoring the number and substance of all telephone calls. Rinder would know about that one day. And by reviewing all incoming and outgoing mail for appropriate contact. Oh, something skipped here. 11, the threat of serious financial harm to the workers if they leave, freeloader's debt, if that they will be sent to, be sent a freeloader bill that they believe will obligate them to repay significant debts owed to the CSI as a result of training received while members of the Sea Org. Every single, any kind of trafficking is, they always do this debt stuff, always. I believe it comes from the Old Testament, personally. With the reauthorization of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, TVRPA, serious harm in the context of the trafficking statutes is now defined as any harm, including psychological, financial, or reputational harm. Where's the SA violence here? That would compel a reasonable person with the victim's background and in the victim's circumstance to perform labor, services, or commercial S acts to avoid that harm. That clarification is important in this case because Sea Org members who have been isolated from the outside world since they were born, like Jamie Muster talks about, and several others have been coming forward saying they were in those nurseries. Hold on, I gotta get a sip of water. Sea Org members who have been isolated from the outside world since they were born, since they were born or since their teenage years are susceptible to unique psychological harm. Yeah, their brain is developing right then. Based on the allegations of blank, blank, and blank, blank, fear was created by blank. You guys know who it is. But anyways, I'm going to keep reading it. Makes me want to barf. And CSI, whereby Sea Org members did not feel that they had any choice but to stay working for Sea Org. Sea Org workers' lives are entirely manipulated by the... Hold on. Are entirely manipulated by the coercive tactics of blank. You guys know who that is. It's not just one person doing it. And CSI, from the fenced-in living and working quarters to the controlled uniforms and movement. I'm going to add in myself, the children. The control of the workers' hours, to include children, salary and medical treatment, and the arbitrary penalties and punishments. Additionally, the forced labor statute also provides that violation occurs when the labor or service of a person are obtained through the abuse or threatened abuse of the legal process. That is defined as a use of threatened use of the law or legal process. Isn't that what the LAPD is doing right now? What do I know? In a manner for which it was not designed to cause a person to take or refrain from taking some action. In the Sea organization, the victims are forced to sign various written contracts that allegedly cause them to believe that 1, they are bound to service with Sea Org for 1 billion years. 2, if they leave the Sea organization, they will be disconnected from their friends and families forever. They cannot even report the abuse of Sea Org, or they will incur substantial fines in the amount of $50,000 per public statement. And 4, if they leave the Sea Org, they will incur overwhelming financial freeloader debts for the costs associated with the workers' training. You see, that's like a loop, you guys. Take the training, and there's all different kinds of things that go on there, but like if people are taking various courses, they have to pay out of their own pocket, and occasionally like lower income Scientologists will like work for the training. And then what they do in the end when they want to leave, they say, well, you know, whatever process they go through, because they don't really want people to leave, they try to say, oh, you owe us this money. $1 billion organization, business. The costs associated with the workers' training while working for Sea Org. The use of these non-binding contracts that Sea Org workers are forced to sign is yet another means of coercive tactics used by CSI to ensure continued forced labor by employees. Well, what is it? Is it a church or a business? Inquiring minds want to know. Date of incident unknown. Time of incident 8 a.m. Date of complaint 7/20/2009. They blocked all this out. Hold on, I just got to scroll through it to see what this is. So there was some specific incidents of some kind of abuse. Human trafficking, 50 cases only. Oh, only 50, huh? Wow. Well, I thought they had millions of members. Approximate number of victims reported, unknown. Duration of time and destination country, varied. Victims, descriptions, multiple victims, possibly over 1,000. I think there's way more than that. Okay, so they're going over like just basic information here. Criminal investigative at Washington, D.C. For the Civil Rights Unit to review and forward the information to the Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division. Criminal investigative at Washington, D.C. for the Public Corruption, Civil Rights Intelligence. Read and clear, whatever that is. This is all blotted out. Hold on. I'm just scrolling. Give me a minute here, guys. Wow, there's a lot of stuff blotted out, so give me a second and see what's going to happen here. Fat Granny had mentioned in her community post that there was something about Phil Anderson. I'm going to have to there's quite a few pages here. They're kind of dry. So hopefully I'll get to Phil Anderson. Allegedly, there was a mole in the RPF. I mean, I just don't know what I believe anymore. Because clearly, because of all the money flowing, nobody gives an F. And me personally, I don't believe that just because they didn't have like internet the way they do now, they easily could have found out everything's going on, and they more than likely did know. Okay, here's all the victims, name and address, blotted out. Well, isn't that great? Wait. Oh, I thought it was blotted out. Maybe it is. It's probably too specific. They knew that a DM would know who it was. I mean, so this one was only for forced labor. Hold on, I'm going to put this on pause. Give me a second. This request for 2 case agents to travel is necessary due to the sensitivity of this case, the importance of this particular witness, and the need to have 2 agents who are fully versed in the language of Scientology and who have a comprehensive understanding of the case. Agents requested that the witness travel to Los Angeles. However, due to security concerns, blank, 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 I don't know what happened there, based on both case agents' experience working with victims of human trafficking, their combined knowledge of the particular facts at issue in this case, and the sensitivity and importance of this particular witness, approval is required for both case agents to travel to interview the witness in person. So that's their investigation, you guys. Hold on. So they got all the synopsis. To request use of case funds for purchase of books related to Scientology. Details. In order to support the investigation in this case, agents request authority to use case funds to purchase 2 whole books, recently published by Scientology insiders. Those books are as follows. 1. The Complex. An insider exposes the covert world of the Church of Scientology. And 2. A Piece of Blue Sky, Scientology, Dianetics, and L. Ron Hubbard exposed. Oh, so Amazon was around back then. I didn't know that. So then they show, like, that they purchased these books. Amazon's been around for a while, I guess. So I have to go through this slowly, because if I don't, I'm going to miss something. So then this document shows, the request approval to interview witness in blank. So they want to do an in-person interview. I'd love to see more investigation than just that, though. And then they say date of birth. They obviously can't have that online. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. Hold on. Okay, guys, I was just paging through, and most everything's blotted out, but basically it's just request for two federal agents to talk to this specific person, authorization of the books that they read, and then to have someone to basically interpret Scientology's. Me personally, and I'm not trying to be too rough, there's a lot to learn in Scientology regarding how their terminology. I think if they would have put enough effort into it, they could have learned a lot, even without the internet. Which, I mean, I think we did have the internet back then, but it wasn't as magnified as it is now. So I'm going to end this here. There's more documents. I'm going to cover some more of them later. Hopefully I can find, maybe I'll just focus on the one with Phil Anderson. So thanks everyone for listening. Please subscribe if you so choose. Hit the like button. And I will put the documentation link in the description box. Thank you.